Structured kindness for self-improvement.
You should write that down. Structured kindness for self-improvement. Now, second question is, why do we stay in Toastmasters? That's got to be Mary. You've got to ask Mary. Why do you stay in Toastmasters?
You gotta do what the Queen says.
We've all known that.
I think it's a Toastmasters fellowship that you get ingrained in.
Back over here. Jack.
I stayed in Toastmasters for 30 years because I recognize that Toastmasters is one of the few places where everyone can be recognized, and many of them are not being recognized in their jobs and in their homes, and they know they can come to a safe place and truly be recognized for the greatness that they have.
It's a test bed for experiments in leadership and communication.
Absolutely. Experiment.
I came to learn, and I stayed because of the people.
Thank you. My name is James Purnell. Toastmasters is my laboratory.
And our chief judge has.
Thank you. The question I get asked a lot because I've been involved for 33 years. And to me, it's because I understand that this is a skill. Like any other skill you have to practice on a regular basis or you lose it.
Thank you all for your responses. So you might ask, why did Michael join Toastmasters?
Why did Michael join Toastmasters?
Thank you, sir. When I joined in 2008, I never heard of Dr. Smedley. I didn't know anything about that first part of his quote, the dedicated to the individual part, or the working together part. I joined to help others, but I didn't really know that at the time. But at work at the Department of Public Health, we noticed that many of our employees were smart, intelligent, creative, but they couldn't get past the interviews. So someone said, well, what about this Toastmasters thing? So we actually formed our Toastmasters Club so that people could interview better and get promoted. I thought, well, I can help them do that. And guess what? Within a year, virtually every member of the charter group promoted. It means it's a challenge for your club, but they did it. They aced the table topics. Me, I was fine. I was fulfilling the mission. I was getting my why. I didn't need any help. I'd achieved my original goal, to help others. And I hadn't thought further about what Toastmasters was. So I was done. But then why did I stay in Toastmasters? Well, something actually began to change inside of me. Sure, I was helping others, but they began to help me. What had begun as a good idea for them, that began to change me. Try this, gesture more, use vocal variety, stand straight, I'm still working on that one. Talk more slowly, enunciate. Mary coaches me every time I see her. And then I was invited in invited to become an area director. Why leadership? Was it just saying yes and embracing Dr. Smedley's vision? Dr. Smedley said, leadership is the capacity to look ahead, think ahead, plan ahead, and then influence other people to go ahead with the plan. I had a plan. My plan was to help others. But then something more happened. For those around in the 60s, my favorite Beatle, John Lennon, said, life is what happens when you're making other plans. My plan was to help others, but I began to change while I was making those plans. And something happened to me. They evaluated my speeches. I didn't need help. But as they evaluated me and my speeches, they evaluated me. And they started to help me. Life happened. And that's how I became involved in leadership beyond the club. Now, I wasn't looking ahead when I said yes. I didn't ask why. Well, I think I did ask why me. And for those area directors next year, we'll be asking you, don't we? Well, why is that important? Because Dr. Smedley says, while most of us have entered Toastmasters to learn to make speeches, and we know that's true, the benefit is but the beginning of the good, which may come to us, and the good which we may do in the time. As we heard last night, Dr. Smedley totally gets it. He got it. We also get it. So life happened to me at least twice because of Toastmasters. Now here, I would usually tell you the story of how I went from contest Toastmaster to area director to division director to the top 3, distinguished district director, and then to international director. But that's not the story I want to tell you right now. The story that changed me. Speaking of plans, I work for the Department of Public Health in Riverside County. My plan to go ahead was to become the next director of that department. I've been there 23 years. Everyone expected me to do that. It was part of my perfect plan. But just over a year ago, my professional life at work was threatened to the core when our longtime director left and an interim director, Sarah, was appointed. I had hired Sarah 10 years earlier to work for me. Then she'd been promoted, and now she's going to be my boss. Now, my colleagues wanted me to fight for that position. And there I was at a crossroads. Do I support Sarah or put my own self-interest first so I can ensure my original plan? 2 years ago, the choice would have been easy. To succeed in the county or any organization like that, you have to put your own interests first, or you'll get mowed down by the others. I like to call that the hand-to-hand combat leadership model. After all, didn't Dr. Smedley say we have to be dedicated to the individual first? Well, midway through my journey to international director last year, I realized that I was changing. I was faced with 2 choices. Sabotage Sarah and work for my own goals, my own plan, or follow the Toastmasters way of how can I help? What can I do for you? Why would I do that? I wondered, why would I choose to assist Sarah at risk to my own career, my own goals, much to the chagrin of my coworkers? Now, Sarah and I had a really rocky relationship. She once went 6 weeks without even talking to me, the old silent treatment. And I'll never know why. Yet, I realized there was a different way to handle this. If we look at the why wouldn't I help her? So I asked, why not? Why wouldn't I? Well, because something was changing inside of me. This whole Toastmasters leadership journey. The experience of encouraging our members to become better speakers and leaders one of the key whys of Toastmasters. I didn't expect it to change, but it changed me. And there I was 12 months ago, actually wanting to help people that I work with, to make the organization a better place by helping Sarah become the next director. With that, what can I do for you? What do you need from me kind of attitude. So my why became to make a difference in my community and to the people I work with. And that was the incongruity of helping someone who likely didn't have my best interests in mind, but in my heart allowed me to find those beginnings by doing the right thing, of finding inner peace. Inner peace in Toastmasters? But little did I know that what the organization I worked for, what they needed was not me as the director. After all that work? No. They needed Sarah, because we needed peace for the organization, we needed peace for the employees, and peace in that hand-to-hand combat I was talking about. So I refound my why. Maybe it was never lost, maybe it was still hiding there. So I called up the county executive officer, that's 3 levels higher in my organization. I said, Jay, you need to appoint Sarah to that position. Yes, it's the right thing to do. And if I'm wrong, you can fire both of us. And he did appoint Sarah the next day. And neither of us have been fired yet. So I did find inner peace at work, which I didn't expect. And maybe, as part of that journey, was one of the reasons why in August I was elected as international director. Well, that and thousands of hours of hard work, talking, interacting, focusing on our Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Just as it says there on that banner. Now, if our story stopped there, we could talk about the unintended consequences of unconscious choices. Well, it never does stop there. In January, just a few months ago, I got called up to Sarah's office. She says, I know you've met all the challenges of your profession. We have no reason to keep you here. You've met your goals. It's county government. I can retire at full salary anytime. So why would I stay? Well, as long as I'm having fun and making a difference, that's a good reason to stay. But then Sarah, she must have been reading the same book. She says, what's your why? At work? Who asked that? Well, then I saw. My goal is to mentor and coach the next generation of leaders. Who thought county government and Toastmasters could have the same values? And I did want to leave a meaningful legacy of my good work. I want to help strategize the future of the health of the community I work in. Help Riverside County become healthier, help the state, maybe even help the whole nation be healthier. Wow. So Sarah and I created a brand new job, a brand new title, new responsibilities. And somehow we got county government to approve it in record time. And I got promoted to the Assistant Director of Public Health and the Chief Health Strategist. We invented a position, a title, and a job in county government. And I get to do exactly what I want for the next few years. When we found our why, both Sarah and I are going to find a way to make our whole community healthier and better. Well, and there was a little bit more money. It's government after all. And that was never in my plan. Thank you, John. Now, I didn't ask for this. I wasn't sure I even wanted it. But those unintended consequences helped me find my why again. But, sorry, it's not really about me, even though it sounds like it is. Just 2 weeks ago, one of my managers, Hermia, came to me. We've been working for weeks on her budget. It was way out of whack. We had to make a lot of changes, find a way to cut without hurting people. And I've been doing this long enough that sometimes you just have to say, do it my way. But I tried this different approach, and we worked through it together, focusing on our priorities. And we finally, after weeks of work, got her budget in balance. Now, I was never her favorite supervisor. She never wanted to work for me. She doesn't even like me. But at the end of the process, she said,